and still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before. We're GABNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First, on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, it's The Exchange with Damian Chaplin.
For me, I have a bathroom that's connected to the office, and it's literally like right there. And in my job, I already wash my hands 10 to 20 times a day because I have a filthy job. I walk around and you touch a lock, and you have no idea how filthy locks are.
Tuesday through Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, it's Alex Bennett with The Ramble.
By the way, what was the name of that? I was trying to remember the name of that. Those butt wipes from last night. What's the name of it again?
Brought to you by Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes.
You'll fresh and clean and get rid of the stank.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
I prefer giving tips in cash versus the credit card. So I got $100 in cash today. Will I need it? I don't know. But one thing that I did do is I took each and every one of those singles and $5 bills, laid them out on my floor, and sprayed them with Lysol and flipped them.
If you like sports, we've got that too with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
The men's national team, they often have to deal with more unruly fans than the female national team does.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GABNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
Hi, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GABNet page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
What happens when you combine the largest broadcaster in America with a puny, insignificant podcaster? You get the huge platform of iHeartRadio and Alex Bennett's Ramble. Yes, now the Ramble is being carried on iHeartRadio as one of thousands of podcasts they make available. Now the big question is, how do we navigate this clutter? The answer is you. Go to iHeartRadio.com, then to their podcast section, and search for Alex Bennett's Ramble. Once you've found it, make it a favorite. If enough of you do it, we could make that 15-year-old girl with her makeup tips step aside for the new king of podcasting. Okay, who am I kidding? She's about 2 million subscribers ahead of us, but it will help to put us on the map. The Ramble and iHeartRadio. Proof that Alex isn't good enough to be on one of their radio stations, but they are desperate enough to feature the Alex Bennett's Ramble podcast. A match made in broadcasting heaven. The Ramble from GABNet. Talk like iHeart and you have never heard before.
Years and still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, live from Harlem in New York, it's The Ramble with me, Alex Bennett, sequestered in my home until midnight tonight, when you can join us right here. And I better turn on the light there that says we're on the air. Otherwise, we're not officially on the air. There we go. How's that? Wait a minute. Let me do something. I want to make it a little nicer in here. This is up too bright. There we go. Okay. I like it when I... oh, you know what I forgot to do? See this over here? I always forget to do something. Hold on a second. I should have a list. Alex, you should do this, and then you should do that. I just push one button and watch. There we go. Okay, see? There are the lights. I knew the lights. Something wasn't right. The lights weren't on. In case you're watching us on video, which you can do on YouTube, you get the idea that hey, we're doing this with video. But if you're just listening to the audio, it doesn't matter whether you can see me well or not, or whether the lights are on and so on. These lights are bright, however, I got to tell you. Anyway, hello, how are you? What's happening? How's everything in your apartment where you're stuck and you can't leave? Otherwise, you'll get arrested and thrown in jail. And but then you're in jail, and I guess somebody said, who was it that said? I heard it. I think today, in which somebody said, "This is like home confinement without the ankle bracelet." Really, it's the same thing. I have not left the house since you saw that thing we did the other day where we went through the neighborhood. So, be that as it may. I got my coffee tonight. I'm ready to go. The only thing is I have a slight stomach ache. I have all these little things that have happened to me since I've had these seeds put in me. Now, let me explain something to you. I saw something tonight, very disturbing, on Lester Holt's newscast tonight. More disturbing than Lester Holt himself. And it was a story about several people who have cancer, all right? And they're dying of cancer. One person has colon cancer, stage 4 colon cancer, and there's some kind of new therapy they wanted to try out on her to save her life, and she has a child, and so on and so forth. And they canceled it. And why did they cancel it? Because they have no room at the inn. Because they need the hospital for the coronavirus. So they're trading her life for the coronavirus. And then there was someone else who said they had to have some kind of surgery, and they had to call it off because of this. And I started to think about it, and I went, boy, did I miss the bullet on that one. Because as you know, 2 weeks ago, a little more than 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks and 2 days ago, I had these seed implants put in my prostate for prostate cancer. And that's supposed to cure my prostate cancer, and probably, chances are it will. But if I had, and by the way, you remember things went really bad and my doctor couldn't get the equipment he needed, and so he had to cancel the operation, and he put it off for a week. If they just put it off another week or something, I wouldn't have been able to get it. They'd say, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to live with your cancer. You've had your radiation. Maybe that helped a little bit, but we can't do the seeds, which will kill it completely. And so I really dodged the bullet on that one, because here I am. I've had the operation and I'm fine. The only thing is, I'm supposed to, after 4 weeks, go in for a CT scan so they can check the seeds and check the radiation levels and so on to make sure, not that it's working, but that they're not overworking or whatever. But as I said, it's not a diagnostic thing. It is simply something for their records so they can say, hey, yes, things are working right. They're here and these are there, and so on. So it's not what you would call, the term they use is essential. I don't know if they'll do that for me. Okay, I don't know if I'm not going to get a call next week saying, oh, by the way, we're not going to be doing that for a couple of months, okay? But you can live without it. I know it's something that I can live without, okay? That I can wait for it to happen later on down the line. But it really, my God, I thought about it as I watched this thing and I went, if I had just been like 1 week off, or maybe especially 2 weeks off, it'd been like last Tuesday, they would have canceled the procedure, and I wouldn't have gotten the seeds, and the prostate cancer might have advanced. So, I'm thankful. I'm counting my damn blessings. Isn't that strange and weird? Okay. I love this coffee. I found this coffee. I got this thing called Wake the Hell Up coffee, and I got it, and I love the taste of it. And then I looked at the package, and it said because I got another bag of it, but it didn't taste the same. And then I looked at the two bags, and one of them said that the coffee in the bag was Jamaican Me Crazy. That's the name of it, Jamaican Me Crazy. And it's got coconut and it's got spices. And I love the taste of it. That's all I drink. And this is the what's his name? The Wolfgang Puck has his K-Cups. And he makes just not the double dose Wake Me the Hell Up coffee, but just a regular dose. And that's what I drink at night. Okay? So there we are. Anyway, so, you have things like that, and I feel so sorry for people who are like, they're supposed to go in for their major cancer operation to take care of their, and they can't, the hospitals can't take them, and it's not going to get any better. In San Francisco, as in all California, Gavin Newsom out there declared it, basically that you have to stay in your house. You can't go outside. And here, about a week ago, they said that 50% of all businesses had to lower the amount of people at their jobs by 50%. And then the other day he said 75%. And today he said, and I'm quoting him, 100%. Everybody, send everybody home. We've got to stop this thing. We've got to make sure it doesn't spread. We don't have the problem is, and he explains it so well. I mean, I really would I should just get a YouTuber thing of his speech and play it for you, because he explains it so amazingly about how, the curve goes up like this, and the amount of things we have in the hospitals is like this, and it goes and exceeds that, and and how many beds we're going to need, and why we're not going to be able to take care of everybody. So if we try to prevent people from getting it, if we try to prevent ourselves from being in the middle of this whole thing, then we can maybe we can do something about it. All those cures that the president was talking about are just, pie in the sky. There's one which is like a malaria drug, and if you take it with a antibiotic, supposedly it will knock it out 70% of the time. Okay? Now, where do we get that information from? The Chinese came up with that one. Okay? So if you don't trust the Chinese in the first place, you can't trust that in the second place. But the president gets up and he says, we've got these things on the horizon, the FDA's looking at them, and so on. And then Anthony Fauci gets up and says, it's all anecdotal, because our president has done a lousy job, okay, of calming the seas, as it were, and the way in which people are reacting to this whole thing. And it's just too much. It's too much to even think about. That brainless president of ours. Today he gets on the air Here's what happened. Today I wake up, I always look and see what the stocks are doing because I want to see how much money I've lost today. I think I've lost about I haven't even looked. I'm not looking. I won't look until maybe next December to see how much money I have or don't have because I don't want to go jumping out of a window here. But I could have lost upwards to a third of my money. Okay, all right, that pretty good to think about. Yeah, and so I check the stocks every day just to see how they're doing. And usually it's bad news. Usually they're down. But this morning I woke up and I looked at them, and the stocks were up. They were up around 300. Okay, so the next thing I do is I watch about 11 o'clock every morning. Our governor here gives a speech, and I watch that. Okay. Andrew Cuomo gives a speech, and I watch that. And that at least does make me feel better, but it makes me feel as though there is somebody running this state who is doing the best job he possibly can under incredible circumstances. And then the president runs his at 11:30. Now, mind you, the stock was at maybe 350 on the positive side before his speech started. By the time his presentation was over, it was down 300 and eventually finished almost minus 1,000 today. I think the lowest it's ever been. Can I just say this to our president? It's not because I don't like him, which I don't, but it's because it happens to be true. For the sake of my pocketbook and the pocketbook of Americans everywhere, will you shut the hell up? Okay? Just shut up. Okay? Don't even say a word. Let other people do the talking and whatever. I mean, today, a guy from NBC said to him, well, don't you feel that by what you did yesterday with all these different cures and so on was giving people false hope? Trump then laid into him and said, no, I don't think it was false hope. It's my opinion that these things have to be looked at and blah, 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 blah. And then he finishes off the whole thing by just going after this guy and saying, you're very rude in asking me a question like that. Now, this is a guy from the press who's simply trying to get an answer. And he went after him and said, that's rude. You shouldn't be asking that kind of question. You're phony press. You and all your people over there at NBC, owned by Comcast. And he, in the middle of this is supposed to be, here's what's happening. Here's what we're trying to do. Then the press, do you have some questions? I mean, if Trump doesn't want people to go after him at these press conferences, then he shouldn't ask the press he shouldn't take questions from the press. Anyway, the same reporter, later on, Pence is up there, and he asked Pence exactly the same question. And Pence gave him a good answer, a very civil, decent reply. I'm not a big fan of Pence, but he certainly knows politically how to handle himself instead of this goofball we've got as a president, where every time he opens his mouth, the stock goes down 1,000 points. And I just think it's time we, he just shut up and mind his own business and let other people run the country. Man, I wish Cuomo were president right now. One of the things he said, and it was very important what he said, was he said, in the end, I'm the guy who's responsible. And it was one of those buck stops here moments in which he said, the buck stops here, basically. And if it goes wrong, it's my fault. And if it goes right, well, thank you very much. But, I'm going to make these decisions, and let's just hope that I'm right, And he's willing to admit that he, if he doesn't get it done, he doesn't get it done. But anyway, I've just opened up the citizen panel for. Let me put on the green light here. Roxanne, turn on your red light. No, turn on the green light. There. Okay, now I'm green. Okay, for everybody who might want to call the program and so on. And we'll start taking calls. And oh, wow. 40 people are watching right now. Last night we got all the way up somewhere around 50 at a time. And that was pretty good. Anyway, I dodged the bullet. That's the good point. So, what have you. Let me see. That's Josh Wheeler, and there's Charles Wallace. Let me see here. I think Charlie was on last night, and here comes somebody else. Who are we? Todd Moore. Let me see here. Who do we have? We got Charlie. We got Todd Moore. Let me put him in the number 1 spot. Todd Moore. There we go. And also Josh Wheeler. Hello, Josh. Let me take care of him. Get him a little spot here. There we go. I may have to ask you people at some point during this hour to talk amongst yourselves, because today I've had what I call a bad pee day. So, who knows what the story is going to be. Scott Boddicker is calling. Hold on a second. Let me. And Ray Renati is calling. Let me just get these people all on here, and then we can, let me see here. First of all, here comes. Let me see here. Who do we have? There's Ray. And then I go here, and we had, there was one other person that called. Oh, yeah, Scott Boddicker. Hello, Scott. How are you? Good to see Scott. We don't see Scott that often. Let me see here. And I think that, okay, and Todd, you've got your hand up. What do you want, Todd?
Well, I wanted to let you know, man, I'm sorry that I missed you the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I usually am sleeping before, I can really get on, like talking about. What the hell is that noise?
I don't know. What is that noise?
I got a lot of friends watching now. A lot of friends.
Wait a minute, Ray, you're making a lot of noise there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go on.
My microphone's off. Was off.
Well, I don't know, but it seemed to be where the noise was coming from. Anyway, hold on a second. God, wait a minute. I gotta get. Let me see here. Who do I not have here? Oh, Charlene. Okay, she's that one with that long thing. And then we got to go over here to Jason.
There we go.
We're already up to, and also,
Wow.
let me see here. I think we got Scott, and then we've got to go over here to our where is it? Hold on a second. Our 8-pack, is it? Yeah. Hold on a second. I have to go to 7. I've got to get these people on here because they're calling me faster than I can put them on. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. There's that. And then we got to go to, and then we got to go and put in Rob. Let's see, Alfano. Here comes Rob. Here he comes. Now let me see here. Rob Alfano. I'm going to have to cancel and then go back in here and double click and get Rob Alfano. There goes Rob Alfano.
And folks, this is how
boom.
the sausage is made.
Oh, this is how the sausage is made. Look at that, folks, already. Jeez, you're exhausting me.
One more, we got a full house.
Huh? No, we don't have a full house yet. We're almost
one more. Yeah.
One more, and it'll be a full house. Yeah. And Phil hasn't called, so maybe
Let's lock him out.
Let's lock him out. Yeah, right.
Lock her up.
Lock her up. Lock him out. Lock him out. Yeah.
Is he on quarantine or lockdown?
I don't know. I don't know where he would be. Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be. Locked out. So, who knows?
Phil lives near me, and we're allowed to go outside. and walk the dog and stuff like that. But we're not supposed to go anywhere but the grocery store or to the doctor.
Well, here comes Bree.
How are the streets looking? Are they looking like people are following the order? Or?
Yeah. There's just very few cars. It looks like mostly people like delivery and stuff. A few people walking their dogs, and that's about it.
Okay, here. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I gotta find. Let's see here. First, I gotta put Phil in here. Where is it? Phil, scuba diver, and wait a minute. I said okay, Phil. What's your problem, Phil? Well, let me see here, and then I gotta find. Let me see here. Gotta find. Who? Hell, somebody else called. Oh, Bree. I gotta put Bree in here. Hold on a second. Where is Bree?
Charlie said we wanted a full house.
Huh?
So
Well, this is more than a full house.
Yeah, we got a royal flush now.
Yeah, it's a royal flush. And for some reason, is Phil there? Are you there, Phil? At all? No, Phil isn't. Phil isn't there. Huh?
It's frozen.
Too many.
Well, Phil isn't there.
Probably his internet connection.
The internet's getting clogged up from everybody working from home.
Yeah, that's happening too. You know that in Europe, Netflix has lowered their speed so that I guess if you have 4K, you're not going to be able to get 4K. You know, so.
And they should give back money if they're going to do that.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I had no problem watching Netflix today.
Well, no, you didn't have any problem, but I'm saying that they would have had they're having a problem in Europe, and they're slowing it down. Here comes Sibby Itty. I'll tell you, I can't put you on. If I put one more person on, it becomes. Well, we'll give you a try, Sibby, and if I can't do it, hold on a second. Sibby, are you there, Sibby?
Yes.
Okay, I may have to hang up on you if this is not working well. But
Okay, that's fine.
He's on Skype.
Slap back.
What?
I'll just watch on YouTube. That's fine.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on. You can stay there for the time being. It's just a matter of if we can take it. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just get. Oh, there's Kevin. Oh boy.
Bree has his hand up.
It's just beyond the royal flush.
Huh?
This is beyond the royal flush.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is all going to crash down behind me. Let me see here. Hold on, everybody. Just keep quiet a second. Bree, we have. We need. Who do we need? Okay, here. What we're going to our 11 spot here, which would be. Let me see here. Because I got so many names here now, I can't see them all. Who am I looking for? We got Bree, we got Todd, we got
Sibby
Charlene.
And Kevin will ask too.
Sibby, you're there, Sibby, right? Sibby?
He was muted.
Oh.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, he's there. Okay. All right, let me see here. Sibby, are you there? No, but we don't have a picture on you, Sibby.
I'm looking at Sibby.
I can see myself.
I see him.
I think I'm on.
Well, I don't know. I give up.
Looks like
my man Sibby.
Skype.
Wait a minute.
I can see all of you
Hold on a
guys.
second. Bree, what, Bree?
Alex, are you familiar with a program called Zoom?
No, don't even talk to me about that. It sucks.
Really?
Yes,
Because
it does.
we have
It
found that
sucks. It sucks because I've got to then teach everybody how to use Zoom, and it's.
I think what he was going to say is it's free right now.
Huh?
I think what he was going to say that it's free right now.
Yeah, it's free right now, but it's not. Let me see here.
I've switched over to Zoom for all my classes and all my meetings because with Skype and Teams, when you go above 10 people, the audio gets horrific.
All right, but we're doing just fine now. I'm just trying to find out. Do I have? Oh, I see. I don't have Kevin in there. That's who I don't have, which is Hog Rider. Hog Rider. Where's Hog Rider? Come on.
update. You got 46 on the chat.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Phil, don't confuse me while I'm trying to do something here. Okay, here's Hog Rider. All right, and Sibby, I can't. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm trying to. Oh boy, that 11. Hog Rider. Are you there, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're there, but I'm not able to get your picture up. All I'm getting is your picture on.
It's on Skype, but not on YouTube. But that's fine.
Well, no, but I'm
got the
I don't
9
care.
screen on YouTube.
What?
I only see 9 people on YouTube.
I know, but okay, let me show you what I got here. Here's the thing. Okay, there we go. And here, look at that. I got that, and I can't even get Sibby in here. Let me see here. 12. Sibby. Sibby Sibs. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Is this going to... No. I'm going to have to get rid of a couple of people here. Anybody want to voluntarily leave?
I'll go.
No, you stay.
I leave.
I'll bail if you want.
What? Yeah, Sibby. Let's... Huh? No, let's get rid of Sibby. Thank you, Sibby. I appreciate the call, Sibby, but...
I had an idea that I will only stay on for half an hour. So, Sibby, come back for a half hour. I think if we take shifts, so to speak, maybe a half hour to an hour. So, Sibby, please keep listening, watching, and come back in. I'll go out for you. But, let's take turns.
Okay.
I can go off, Alex. I'm in the dark anyway.
Okay. I'll tell you. Stay where you are a second. Yeah, I'd go if I were you because you're just so dark we can't even see you anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay, and you're number 4, so that's gone. So I can maybe put Kevin in there. Maybe.
You need me to go?
Hold on a second. This is taxing the system, however, but let me see here. Where are we? I'm trying to see Hog Rider. Where's Hog Rider? There he is. Let's see here.
God, I'm looking at Bill.
Is this coming up? There's Hog Rider. And he's down below 2, but maybe I can put Sibby down there now. Let me see, on 12, on 11. Wow, this is clustery funkery. Yeah, let me see here. No, that's Scott Boddicker. Let me see here. Sibby Itty. Sibby, are you there?
I think he left.
Oh, he left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He signed off. Yeah.
Okay, well then, let me see here. There's somebody that I guess I have. Oh boy, this is something else. Okay, let me see here. We're gonna do that. Okay, so we got 10. So we got a full house. What is that? A full house or is that a royal flush? It's a royal flush. Okay. Okay, let me see here. No, that's not what I want. I said royal flush, you idiot. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. There we go. The royal flush. Okay. Oh, well, thank you and good night, everybody. Oh, boy. This is quite
I think the Ramble caught the virus.
No, we just got too many people at one time. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Plus, we got about 46 people watching us right now. So, you know.
Hey, now tell you, Alex, you were talking about losing money in this whole thing before. I've lost 40 grand.
Have you lost 40 grand?
Yeah.
Really? I don't even want to look. I don't want to look.
I keep on looking because I, it will come back. But
well, will it come back in my lifetime? Is the question. That's my question. In my lifetime, will I see it back? So
they just get smart and suck it all up right now and just put everybody on quarantine for 2 months. And
I don't think it's going to be 2 months. I think it's going to be a lot longer than that.
I'm afraid you're right.
I agree.
It sucks though. I'm essential, so I have to go to work.
Yes, yes, Todd.
Oh, just give me a heads up. It's going to be a lot longer than a few months in quarantine. I guarantee you it's going to be about a year.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to tell you that. And I'm
Well,
sorry,
I hope
Alex.
it's only a year.
I'm hoping that it'll be less than that, but that's what it's looking at. I'm on the front lines driving trucks. It's not looking good out here. It's not looking good at all. And I brought a lot of people to your show. From my I play like a little game on the phone. So I had all my friends come over. So I'm sorry if I filled it up so they can to see what's going on because they're all around the world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm filling them up with.
Yeah.
If they're all on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy, I'm telling you, it's. I am. I mentioned this earlier, and I'll mention it again. I mean, I really dodged a bullet by having my operation 2 weeks ago. Because if I were to have had this operation let's say last Tuesday, for example, they wouldn't have operated on me. I'm sure of it. They're turning people away with terminal cancer right now. So I mean, I am so lucky. I've never said that I'm happy for something. I'm not that kind of upbeat person that say thank God for that, But thank God for that. I mean, because if I had not had if I not had it when I had it, even by 1 week, I might have had a problem getting it. And I may not be able to get the CT scan, but that isn't. That's only what can we call it? Informative for the doctor. That's not something. I may have to have a blood draw, but I can live without those things. So anyway, how you doing, Josh? Are you hunkered down?
No, we're still working.
Yeah.
We only have about half our people, so working twice as hard.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my company just refuses to follow the order of the governors in the states that have closed businesses. They won't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they won't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got information last night about Pennsylvania and a few other places, and I really thought it was going to shut us down because we ship a lot of our product to the distribution centers there, and then I come in this morning, they're like, oh, no. The governor's order said paint manufacturing. He didn't say we couldn't ship it and receive it. And I'm like, give me a fucking break, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now they did the same thing in Nevada. We got another distribution center out there. They probably won't close. And I was told all the people in California were going to still keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
gotta have paint.
So when they end up on the fucking news for acting like assholes, they'll get everything they got coming to them.
Keep the language. We might be able to monetize this.
Oh, forget it. I've given up on trying to monetize this. Every night, again, it's like they don't monetize, and then I put in a protest, and then they monetize one, but they don't monetize the other. And then if I made some money on a particular night, they take it back from me.
You to make a Mac.
How do they take it back from you?
They take it back. At one point, I got it to $10.10, and now I'm back down to $9.56 or something.
What?
Yeah.
You're doing better than I'm doing in the stock market.
You got to withdraw it right away.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Two people have their hands up. Jason. One of which is Jason, and then Charlene will be after him. Jason.
I've wanted to ask Todd how he felt about them getting rid of the law about the hours that you can drive.
They never got rid of it yet. I'm still driving the same hours, and I'd rather lose all the hours so I can hurry up and get everybody's product that they need to where it is. And as far as Pennsylvania, they shut down all of the rest areas, so we got no place to park.
But how do you feel about people's safety if they get rid of the restriction of the hours that you can drive?
Well, before we didn't have those really.
Since 1938.
Well, I mean, okay, well, I don't know. All I know is a lot of drivers have problems driving too excessive or whatever. I used to drive with just logbooks and cheated on the logbooks. I would leave from Arkansas and I would go all the way to Virginia straight. And I lied on a logbook and I made it there to get to my dad and my family in a day's time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some drivers can do it. Some drivers should never do it. Get your rest and then you do it if you need to do it if it's emergency. If it's not emergency and you don't need to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Even in an automobile, I couldn't drive straight through 24 hours.
Right.
You know, I'd have to break every maybe 10 hours and sleep.
Do you feel?
I
Do you
just
feel?
almost got
Do
ran
you?
off the road
Do you?
today by
Do you?
a semi.
Do you feel, Todd, that you're safer in a truck than you are if you were
Oh, hell yeah.
out there in a lot of other places?
What do you mean in the 18-wheeler? Then
Yeah, I mean, do you feel you're safer there from this plague? You know.
No, because I can explain why. Because I got to stop and I got to pick up and I have to go to truck stops to get my fuel.
Mhm.
I have to go inside. Then I have to go inside to deal with the customers to deal with them, and they don't even care because I'm like, I'm sitting next to another truck driver and I'm trying to stay 6 feet from him, and we're in a little cubicle.
Yeah.
And I don't dig that. I'm standing up and I got the other guy sitting down, and then when he comes up to get his paperwork, I'm trying to slide around him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy about any of it because they don't care. They'd rather get my keys for my truck while I'm backed up in the door than worry about me sitting in my truck with the truck off, but they don't want me to do that. They want me sitting in their office. I don't like none of it.
Yeah. Phil, you got your hand up.
Yeah, this is also tough on these truck stop hookers. What are they going to do?
I'm going to slap you when I see you, Phil. I'm just letting you know that because the only hooker and the only truck stop hooker that I see right now, I'm talking to Philip. Phil. You see that? Now I see why you're a Trump supporter, Phil.
What do they call? What do they call them? They have a term for them. Lot something or another.
Lot lizard.
Lot lizards. Yeah.
Lot lizard. Yeah.
AKA Philip.
Yeah. You only wish.
No, but
Yeah.
you kind of got that big mic in front of your face for a reason.
Hey, listen, since we have so many people, since we have so many people on tonight, let's really enforce the raise your hand rule. And I'll also try and get around all of you. Charlene?
Yeah, I heard. Did you guys hear the National Guard is coming this way, like up to the East Coast?
The National Guard is here, has been here all the time.
Every state enacted the National Guard, I thought.
Every state has the National Guard, and when they call up the National Guard, it's your National Guard. It's not some National Guard that comes marching in from Florida or something.
I heard a rumor they're gonna do a self-quarantine for 2 weeks starting this weekend. And I thought it was supposed to be just Michigan, but our governor's saying she isn't planning anything, so it might be a national.
Yeah. Yes, Bree.
I'd just like to go around the horn here. How many of you, like me, are prohibited for 2 weeks from going outside by an army and police officers? Raise your hand.
Nope.
It's coming. I believe it's coming.
Well,
that's probably what you're hearing.
It's what they didn't.
If you look at the videos coming out of Italy and out of Britain, you will be scared straight.
But we're Americans.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, but if either everybody does it or we don't, and this keeps going.
It's true.
So we are into day 4 of our 2 week, and now they're thinking it'll probably be extended at least an extra week, because the first 2 or 3 days people didn't believe it, and they were going out and they were like, "Oh, life is good. I'm fine. I don't have it." And then they called up the army and said, "No, this is serious, and we mean it. And you're going to get fined 20,000 ringgit, jail of 2 years, if you disobey this order."
Now, how are you supposed to get food and pharmaceuticals and things like that?
Well, delivery works great here, and the delivery drivers are still allowed to go as long as they have their logos and their drivers. And you can walk to a local pharmacy or a local grocery store between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. But they're restricting, and the morning hours are only for elderly, and then the afternoon and slightly into the early evening are for everybody. But they restrict the numbers that go in.
So you're in
you
the
can
city.
only walk. You can only walk. If you have to drive, forget it. They're
In
gonna shut it
Malaysia,
down.
by the way, you've had 1,000 cases so far. And wait a minute, hold on a second. I'm trying to find out where's that?
You still going by those numbers, huh?
Well, this is all we really have. You know, there are 3 deaths in Malaysia so far.
So you live in a city, I live in the country, and I can't imagine that happening here because it's wide open spaces. I don't have a big piece of property by any means.
Right.
But and there's the entire state right now only has like 120 cases or whatever.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I could
So
see
it'll
in
be
a
240 tomorrow.
Kevin?
Well,
wait a minute, Kevin?
Yeah, they've closed down the highways.
Yeah.
So
Kevin has his hand up.
Yeah, so I saw an interview this morning of a family that's an American family in Italy that are hunkered down, and they said that they can go out only to go down to the store and get groceries, and then they got to go back, and they have to carry papers, and they're getting checked on the street as they go down towards the store. They'll get checked once or twice before they get to the store. They're within a certain length of kilometers from their store, and they got to go get the store, and then they're on their way back. They check, they bought their shit, they go back to their house, and they're in. So and their papers are checked, so they got to take their passport and their identification papers for their address and all that stuff, so they stay within a certain part.
Okay.
And they got to go back.
Jason,
so I don't know if they'll get to that, but
okay, Jason, and then Todd.
Actually, yes, we probably will, because I just yesterday got my papers because I'm considered an essential worker. So even if there is a self-quarantine nationwide, I'm still expected to go to work. And my company has also told us that we're still going to go inside people's houses and do installs.
What?
So what the hell is the point of that? If there's a self-quarantine, you're going to send people into people's freaking houses to do installs, where I might be going to 4 or 5 people's houses every day. So,
but you also have.
I'm young and healthy, so I might have it and be what they call the super spreader.
But if
you also have the right to not go in the house too. And my wife did the same thing. She sells air parts for air ambulances, and she brought home paperwork so she can pass through the roads and stuff in case she gets pulled over.
Todd had his hand up. Todd?
All right, well, yeah, I heard the same thing going on in Germany, and I know for a fact that they're starting to do the same, they're getting ready to do the same in New York. They're starting to do it in a bunch of other states too that I've been driving through. All the schools we already know that are pretty much, closed down. But what they're doing is they're lying about how long the schools are going to be done for.
Right.
I already know, and I already told everybody pretty much that I know in the United States they're dealing with the school systems that they got a whole year. They were told a couple of months. They got a whole year because they're not going to find a serum for this or any type of thing for this.
Yeah.
And it's just it's horrible.
Okay.
Everybody is messing up the stores, but except a couple of states. A couple of states that I've been through, you wouldn't even notice that anything is wrong. Like Florida, where everybody's over there just chilling in the water. There's like 1,000 people, and you know what I mean? You got the old people, the young people, and the people from college.
Phil,
a good time, ain't they?
Phil had his hand up. Yes, Phil.
Yeah, Jason, the reason you're an essential a person or and allowed to go into people's houses is because you're providing internet for them, and they need in this situation people need the internet. That's the only thing that's going to
They don't need to switch from one company to another right now.
Maybe
That's
not.
they don't need to upgrade their speed right now.
Yeah.
Or you,
No, he's absolutely right, Phil. I mean, yeah, I get the point you're trying to make. If these were fresh installs, but he's talking about their upgrades, their people are changing services, things like that.
And you don't need to have it for, if you know there's a quarantine going on for a month, you don't need to have your internet. I'm sorry, find something else to do. If you were that unlucky person, this is humanity we're talking about.
Listen, Larry Bubbles Brown is living in a studio apartment with no internet. Okay, so imagine that. Yes, Bree.
Just a word of advice. I don't, mean to panic everybody, but if I were you, I'd go to the grocery store today, make sure your freezers are stocked and your refrigerators are stocked, and also that you have enough water. We bought a ton of water, and sure enough, our water supply has gone on the fritz. We don't have water today through the mains. So
wow.
And we hope it'll come back. We do have internet. We have electricity.
I'm advising people against hoarding only because that could cause a bigger.
You have enough to last 2 or 3 weeks of food.
Well, here's what happens. If I run out of food, okay, I will order out. Okay, we already found our favorite restaurant. We'll deliver, or we can go over and pick it up. So there are, and I can order from like Amazon or Whole Foods and so on. Charlene.
Yes.
Charlene.
Yes.
You had your hand up.
Or was
Well,
she frozen?
I'm trying not to interrupt and upset anyone. I heard, I think it was Sanjay Gupta, and he said that we can expect this again next year. And I'm like, can we get through this year before he's talking about next year?
Yeah, shut the hell up.
I'm like, my God, we don't know what to expect. And he's saying, would it be this again next year if we all survive this year? I couldn't believe they said that today on CNN.
Yeah. Yes, Phil.
Yeah. Today I had to pick up some meds for my dog, and the place that I picked it up was a couple doors away from Costco. So I said, I'll go to Costco. So I get the cart, I wipe it down, I go into Costco, I start looking around. I didn't have a plan, but as I walked in about 3/4 of the way, there was this woman standing there coughing, into her hands, but her hands were open, and she just kept coughing and coughing.
That's right. Blame a woman, Phil.
Yeah, I said,
Sorry.
don't be so sensitive, Sean. I said, really?
I'm not. I'm joking.
What do
Don't you guys
do?
remember my story from Singapore?
And then I went to get a Costco employee, and I found a woman, and I said, hey, over by the wall display, there's this woman. She's standing there coughing her brains out. She needs some help, or she needs to leave. And so she says, well, you should tell a manager. I said, I'm telling you, you tell the manager, and I got the heck out of there. I didn't buy anything.
I haven't been to Costco yet because I consider it one giant petri dish.
It was
what public place isn't?
Yeah,
well,
it was crowded.
I would go the other day, and it was really good. They had all their carts. I brought a cart in from the parking lot, and they told me
don't show us
no.
videos and stuff like that, Bree, because it kind of
They gave me a cart that was already sanitized.
Yeah, it throws us off.
It's comical.
Yeah, well, don't do it because it just kind of it kind of throws us all off a little bit.
Sometimes it's hard to see in a circle.
It's exactly what happened to a person who sneezed.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so I won't go over there. You see, I'm very careful about me because of my age and because I just had an operation. I'm probably Kevin probably feels the same way about himself. With some of his physical issues, and
I'm surprised you're still alive.
I'm surprised I'm still alive too. So I'm very wary of even going out, and I have the M9 mask or whatever that mask is. You suppose the really good one. Yeah. Yes, Bree, and then Charlene.
I read a story about NBC News lost one of their sound men or
they
something.
did. They lost a sound guy.
Larry Ledgeworth, but they never, in the whole report, they don't report his age. So
they said he was like he was 63 or 62.
61.
61. Yeah.
Wow. He looked healthy to me. I mean, he looks like a robot.
Yeah, but he did have health issues.
He had respiratory issues.
He had respiratory issues.
Somebody just wrote that Mal Sharp passed away.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. My good friend Mal Sharp, who used to work with me, we used to do stuff together on my show in San Francisco when I was at KMEL.
Man in the Street.
Yeah, we did this one. Really, my favorite prank that we pulled was convincing people on the street that that night, they were going to do something they only do once every 10 years in the Bay Area, and that's drain the bay so they can clean it.
I remember that.
And did you remember? People were believing it.
Yeah.
What time's that going to be? I want to see what that looks like.
The bay was so shitty anyway.
And there was this show. It was one of these shows they ran on like Nat Geo or whatever, where they drained the bay so you could see what it would look like and to see how somebody could escape.
In the bay model?
In the bay model, and they drained the bay, and I'm thinking, I hope Mal is watching this, But Mal Sharp died. He was 80. He's 83. Huh?
He was really tall. Was he about 6'8"?
Yeah, he was quite tall.
Yeah.
Certainly, he towered over me.
Yeah, I liked him. He was a good guy.
Yeah. Most people don't remember, unless you're from the Bay Area, do not really remember Mal Sharp. But I read his obituary in the New York Times. Big obituary in the New York Times for him. So apparently he had an effect on somebody. But I mean, this is really weird. Some woman said it tonight, and I've been saying it ever since, and that is, this is like one big science fiction movie. First, Charlene, she had her hand up first, and then Rob. Yes, Charlene.
What's that M. Night Shyamalan film where there's like this whisper, like it's like a whisper?
I couldn't tell you. His movies suck so badly, I won't go see them.
The Happening, is that it?
Yeah.
And I want to think of that Mel Gibson thing with Joaquin Phoenix, Signs, with the cornfield. I don't know, every horror film in the world.
Yeah, every bad horror film ever made was made by M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah.
Right. I know, he sucks, but whatever.
Yeah. Yes, Rob.
What do you think of the idea that everybody in government, everybody in charge, sports teams, presidents of sports leagues and such already know we're not going to see anything for a year, but they keep telling everybody the schools are closed till April, then they'll change it and they'll make it June. There's not going to be a baseball season, there's not going to be a football season, there's not going to be any more basketball or hockey, and the schools are going to be closed for a year, but they can't tell you that, because if they do, people will go crazy.
Panic.
Yes, Bree.
That's what we're dealing with here, Rob. We've gone through. I'm middle management, so I don't make the upper management decisions, but they're constantly holding back information, and I want to give the information, and in one case I did put something on social media that I had to put some shoulda, woulda, couldas in there, and then you realize why they do that, and it can't be easy for them. And so, right now, if it were me, I'd just say, hey, next semester's going to be totally online, and we're going to start on this such and such a date. But they don't want to do that. There's so many different calculations. So they're waiting until they don't have any more time to make that decision, and then they'll announce that.
Well, with schools, they've said April, and they say chances are school will not go back in session this year. And what gets me are all these kids in Florida are on spring break, and the mayor of the city and the governor of the state are saying they're waiting for Monday when spring break is over. I got news for them. Spring break isn't going to be over for a long, long time.
I mean, common sense dictates it. If everybody stays in and it stops, the virus stops, right?
Yeah.
There's no cure for it. It's not going to go away. So
Right.
how are we going to keep people from getting it a second time, or new people getting it?
Second time?
We just want to flatten the curve right now because we're not ready for it, and the hospitals are getting overloaded. So if we take a 2-week pause, maybe they can catch their breath and get on a system. And then when we go back, if we make sure we do not have 50 or more people together, et cetera, if we adopt these methods, if we do Wakanda Forever, if we do the Thai way instead of shaking these new things, we can slow it down, flatten the curve. It may always be with us, but we can slow it down.
Or if you do 2 months, then you could really slow it down, and there's not going to be new infections, because that's going to be the worst thing is when you do the 2-week thing. And I didn't catch it at first because we were practicing good hygiene in my household, but somebody had it, and I caught it right at the tail end of them having it. Now the 2 weeks is over, and I just caught it 3 days ago. Don't really know I have it, and now I go back out and spread it in society again.
Right.
Yeah, Todd.
Well, I don't really see that would be awesome if it worked that way, but the problem is that we have a lot of people that really don't really care if they get it or don't get it. A lot of the young people really don't care if they affect their parents or their grandparents. I mean, if you look at Florida, when like they had all of those people, there were thousands of people out there at the beach. You know what I'm saying? They were like old people, and there were a whole bunch of young people.
Well,
You know, I'm over the road and I'm
I saw one of them going by drinking a big bottle like this, right? And I'm going, oh, gee, that's really.
And now they're all going to go home back to their states.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, when I'm over the road, I watch all these people, man, you know, and I see everybody, they don't care. They don't even know what's going on. They know technically, they look like you'd figure they know, but they don't stop to even care. They don't wipe down nothing. They don't care. They don't got, you know, they're all bunched up together. The kids, people from school, college, that they're not in school or college right now, and they probably won't go back for a year. They do not care. They're driving out on the road while I'm trying to drive an 18-wheeler to get their products to their places constantly, and they're just basically running me off the road.
All right.
I had to deal with this today.
Charlene, and then Rob.
I just wanted to say, it's a helpful hint. I heard on the news one night that guy that took over on ABC in the evening news. I can never remember his name.
David Muir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that if you don't have a mask, you know how there's a shortage, get a bandana. And I thought it was a good advice. You get a bandana, and you place it over your nose and everything, and use that like when you're contaminated, right? Like when you get infected, to put it over, and you can wash that. Like you have to throw out the mask.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of them here. The Army Navy stores are closed.
By the way, I just thought of a hilarious comedy routine about a guy who wants to
rob a deli,
who decides he's going to go rob a grocery store. So he goes in wearing a mask, and everybody is wearing a mask. And he can't rob the place because nobody knows which one's a robber and which one isn't. Yes, Rob had his hand up.
I have a question. People think I might be paranoid. Would you get in somebody you know, a neighbor, would you get in their car right now and drive someplace with them?
No. Phil, absolutely, you have your hand up.
I would, but I was just thinking about The Walking Dead, and on The Walking Dead, they allowed you to shoot the infected. I think that's a good thing.
That was my video, but I can't show it.
Let me bring somebody into this who's been quiet all night, but I want to see what's happening down there in Plano, Texas.
Oh.
Yes, Mr. Scott Boddicker. What's happening in Plano? What's it like? Is it a ghost town, or was it always a ghost town?
Well, I never get out much anyway, so it always seems like this. But the only thing that affected me is both my wife and my daughter now have to work from home, so I have to deal with them all day long.
Yeah.
I be alone,
I figure if I have to spend about another month with Marjorie every day, I'm probably going to hope for getting the coronavirus and dying.
Go to the hospital.
If you're listening, dear, I love you. But
why did Jewish men die before their wives?
I see why.
Because they want to.
Yeah, because they want to.
Alex?
Yes.
I had a woman try to get into my car today. I think she thought I was Uber. I said, oh my God, it's really creepy. I pulled over to use my phone, and she tried to get into my back seat.
Yeah.
Charlie, what's that sign that you have, Uber Lyft, in your window?
I don't even have one. I said, well, I should just drive around illegally.
Charlie, you've been quiet.
Money.
You've been kind of quiet tonight. What's happening in your neck of the woods? You're in Texas as well. I didn't ask you, Charlene.
Oh, okay. But I talked myself out of the ticket, thank God.
Yes.
Just show them your tits.
I asked.
No, I didn't do that. At my age, they don't want to see them, Jason.
Can I please talk to Charlie for a second? I just wanted to see how's everything in your neck of the woods, because your neck of the woods ain't that far from Scott's neck of the woods.
About 600 miles. But...
Oh, okay. Well,
it's in Austin. We're doing the the sheltering at home.
Yeah.
So I've only gone out once this week. That was today.
Mm-hmm.
To go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So I'm good for another 2 weeks now. So I don't have to leave the house again for 2 weeks.
Todd?
Sorry to bother you guys. You guys are in Texas. I'm heading to Texas out of Ohio now, and I need to get groceries when I get down that way. Are the stores that bad down there?
They're out of stuff, but there was hardly anybody at the store when I was there today.
Yeah.
It was pretty crowded today in Plano, but my daughter told me to get some ketchup. All the ketchup was gone out of the store. I don't know what people are doing buying ketchup in a pandemic, but
because they ran out of toilet paper, and now they figured they ran out of toilet paper, and they feel they can crap in a Heinz bottle. I don't know.
Yeah.
At least you can get something. I can't. I feel like I'm in a post-apocalyptic movie here.
Yeah.
People are being arrested.
Oh no! This is every movie you know what it is? It's like every disaster movie. No, disaster movie that's ever been made. Only it's really happening.
But see, that's why I got my papers, so I feel.
I'll show you how serious it is. It's so serious that the one person on this panel would be saying it's all a hoax would be Phil, and he hasn't said it once.
I don't feel like arguing with you guys.
No,
but, when the sharks start coming out of the sky, like Sharknado, then I know it's a disaster.
Yeah. But, I mean,
I don't like to politicize it, but Trump dropped the ball on this one big time. In the early days, he said it was nothing, and like a miracle, it would just go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned it over to Pence. But somehow he shows up at every single press conference, and he said we have a cure. He said, I mean, the number. I just have to tune him out. Any press conference he's in or any news he's in that involves COVID-19, I do not watch it. I do not listen.
Well, I did.
You have to do that because he's not helping.
I watched something today because Phil and I were having a bit of an argument last night about this, so I wanted to see if it was true. And when I woke up, the stock market was I think the Dow was at like 350 on the good side, right? And then our governor here gave his little speech, and then predictably at 11:30 our time, the president gave his press conference. And the minute he started giving his press conference, I started watching the other side of the screen where they had the Dow. And it started going down and down, and then it went into the minus. And by the time he was through speaking, it was down 300 points. And by the end of the day, it wound up a little above 1,000 to the bad. So, Phil, he really has to watch what he says.
And it was a shit show today, too.
Are going to make that much of a difference. It's just a matter of people trying to take profit.
Phil, one day he gave a speech, and it went from something like 1,000 bad down to 3,000 to the bad after his speech. You're not going to say that had anything to do with it.
No, you're giving him much more credit than he's due.
No, I'm not giving him credit. I'm giving him credit for being an idiot for not knowing how to keep calmer heads prevailing.
If you look at what he's done and not what you're...
what has he done? Don't give me that Chinese thing, because that was a long time ago. What has he done?
Just the first of many. There's lists out there of every day of what he's done to improve our situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Rob?
Did you hear what's his name? Fauci? Is that his name?
Fauci. Yeah.
He completely, the two of them, they asked Fauci a question about this new drug that Trump is touting, and he thinks it's going to be a panacea. It's going to, and Fauci said, absolutely not.
Well, he said it's what was the term he used? It was the evidence is anecdotal.
Yeah,
is how he put it.
But basically, he said, I disagree with what the president is saying, because Trump was
that's when he got into it with Peter Alexander.
Like it's like he's on the citizen panel. He's the frickin' president.
Yeah. Let me see here, Charlene, and then I'm trying to remember whose face is that.
Jason.
Jason, and then somebody else there. Anyway, Charlene, you had your hand up.
All right. I said it was like Night of the Living Dead. Remember the part, like, that emergency broadcast notification system? That little like, this is a test of the emergency broadcast. That came
Alert
on
system,
the other day,
EAS.
and I almost shit my pants. But it was just a test.
Well, I got one the other day.
And
It was an Amber Alert, and I was missing. What? Yeah.
No, I thought they were going to use it because I've never seen them use it in my lifetime except in Night of the Living Dead. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I that's how nervous I am now. They shouldn't test it unless it's for real. You know what I mean?
Josh, is it panic time out where you're living, do you feel?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, there's obviously the presence of the virus and stuff like that, but I'm really getting tired of hearing about some of these possibilities because I don't think they're going to do anything to try to really slow it down. I mean, there's just too many large companies that obviously run our government, and the national government is, they're not helping at all.
Right.
They're just in the fucking way. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, my company basically has refused to comply with everything that anybody has said, and they're not the only large company like that. So I don't think they're going to stop and do a damn thing. There's not going to be a national shelter in place. They're not going to make everybody in Ohio stay home or anything like that. I mean, my work is so hell-bent that it's business as usual that I am telling you right now, they are not stopping our plant until they literally fucking bust the door open like a drug bust, and we all have to run out of there like fucking immigration just came through the door.
Jason,
I mean, that's that, man.
Jason's got his hand up. Jason?
So it's a two-parter now, but they say if it gets out of control, it's going to be 200,000 to 2.2 million Americans that will die. And I think these corporations are still trying to work their people, and it's just going to keep on spreading it. But the only thing is, I think the universe does work in a mysterious way, and the atheist that I am, says God bless Trump that he's the president right now, because when he starts saying this is a serious issue, the fucking retarded people on the other side who think it's all fucking stupid and a hoax and everything might actually listen to him and start sheltering in place when he calls it. I think if Trump calls it, I think all the people with their guns and all their stocked up ammo might actually listen to him and stay home, and maybe people can work together and let this thing pass by staying home and separating.
I mean, they're just not going to do it. I mean, my company is still operating in Malaysia. I mean, I'm just telling you, in Kuala Lumpur, they're still fucking working, even though apparently, I mean, they're still operating all over the fucking world. I mean, I talk to people in Malaysia, today.
Well, Bree is in. Wait a minute, Bree is in.
Midnight, the Army will roll out, and they're serious. As I said, the last few days, people have not been obeying it. So the Army will be deployed at 12:01, in the morning tonight. So starting Sunday. So Josh, next when Alex's show is on next, which is next Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
Let's see about that, because they claim they're serious. We'll see.
National Guard's been activated in every state.
Alex is marching with the Chinese. He's already in uniform.
I'm telling you, I didn't think anything was serious either, and I was going business as usual on Monday. And by Tuesday, people were freaking out. And
is that April 1st?
by Wednesday, all the grocery stores were empty.
So the last episode I listened to, you were still in Singapore and you were going to go out to a nightclub or something.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like thinking I'm going to call in and find out if Bree got the corona disease.
That was last month.
Yeah. So it's welcome to the. This is so strange, this whole thing, and I mean the fact that. I'm not very fearful about things, but man, I really have this reluctance to go out, and I've got my mask and my gloves and everything. I'm ready for the apocalypse,
This is over soon. And you know why? Because if you keep people in the house long enough, you're going to start having events of domestic violence. The people are going to kill each other, and then you don't have to worry about the virus spreading.
Yeah.
That's fine. If they kill themselves that way, they can't affect anybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
the
the
thing
end
I'm
of the
worried
world
about.
as we know it.
What is you going to say?
I'm worried about the knock-on effects on the economy, and I mean, this really could be it could be a big thing. And I've had thoughts about this. And when you get in lockdown and you're told you're going to get arrested if you go out, and you just saw the grocery stores and there was nothing, I mean, it's a little freaky,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is martial law national or is it a state thing?
It could be either one. It could be local. It could be in a city.
It could be either. Yeah.
Okay, so it isn't only just done by the national government. Huh?
I think a state could do it. They'd have trouble enforcing
what
it.
my greatest fear is in all of this, and I don't know. I'm sure some of you feel this way. I'm sure Phil won't feel that way. But that everybody everybody comes to public office with a tool set of one sort or another, and Trump's tool set is not this tool set. It's not the one he is ready for. I don't think he's even ready for economic problems, but God knows we're going to have those now.
I think he lied about his test results.
He's going to talk about, he keeps talking about how unemployment is at an all-time low. They're expecting it, and this is according to what's his name, his Secretary of the Treasury, Mnuchin. He said it could go as high as 20% unemployment. That would be I think maybe an all-time high since the Depression.
Yeah.
Well, if you have everybody that's been cloistered collecting unemployment, you're going to have a higher rate of unemployment. I mean, if even though you haven't been fired, in this situation, you're allowed to collect unemployment if your business has been forced to close its doors.
You are unemployed because you've been fired. Essentially, don't come to work. We don't have a job for you.
You don't have to be fired to collect the unemployment in this particular situation.
What?
So therefore, yes.
Well, wait a minute. If they have to let you go if they're not going to pay you. If they're going to keep paying you, then you probably don't need the president's money.
If they close their doors and they can't pay you, you're allowed to collect unemployment without being fired, because when the doors reopen, you still have a job if you show up.
You're laid off.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
Yes, you're laid off. You're no longer. You're not with
you're
the
just
company.
laid
You're
off
not
subject
getting
All I
paid
know
at
is, like I told a boss of mine once, he said, "Well, we're not firing you. We're just not renewing your contract." And I said, "Well, then do I come in on Monday and get paid for it?" And they went, "No." And I said, "Then I think that sounds like I got fired."
Well, no, because you had a contract and they didn't renew it. If they fired you,
I'm still out of work. I'm still
That was-
unemployed. I'm still
You're
not collecting a
released.
paycheck.
You're terminated. You're released. It's another name for unemployed.
I've been getting bulletins on the unemployment situation, and I was instructed to tell my people that, the salespeople in the retail showroom, look, I have to be closed to the public. You need to collect unemployment. That I haven't, and I didn't. I wasn't required to fire them. I wasn't required to lay them off. They just couldn't work because the showroom wasn't available to the public.
And that's a normal thing too, because I think in the auto industry, there's some people who are kind of somewhat seasonal, and the construction industry, they're seasonal. So they work their ass off during a certain part of the year, especially the construction industry, and then the summertime or wintertime, they collect unemployment.
Well,
that's a seasonal job.
But okay, that's a seasonal job.
Designated seasonal job.
You shouldn't be able to collect unemployment.
I don't know if you can see
job.
that,
Yeah, you
folks.
can. And
But
that's
you
what my
can.
son did.
We
He
hit
was in agriculture, and he used to be seasonal.
we hit 50.
Show me, Alex.
Huh?
What are you
Yeah,
showing?
it is.
50.
Oh, 50. Oh, yeah. 50.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Gets
the
up to
highest.
80, it'll be your birthday.
Well, wait a minute. And also on the audio side of it, we've got. Let me see here. On the audio side, we have 15. So it's like 65
And my
people.
best friend since I was 7 got on the chat and said, "Hi, Phil."
Yeah.
My friend did.
COVID-19 saved GABNet.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. The last couple of nights, it's been quite phenomenal. We went almost this high last night too. So
See what happens when people are quarantined?
well, I also started doing a link on my Facebook page to it to have it go through YouTube, and maybe people are using that too. So that's picking it up too as well.
What would happen if you got one of those Facebook pages that allows you to get more than 5,000 people?
I
and then
have
you
that.
have
I have that. It's called
you have that?
GABNet Live.
No, an Alex Bennett
No,
Facebook page.
no.
that allows you to-
There's a GABNet Live page that is a fan page, as
that's
opposed.
for Gab.
Yeah, and that's the kind where you can have as many people as want to.
Like the real Donald Trump kind of page,
Well, the real Donald Trump. I don't even want to go there. Okay, what have you? But
Hey, so Alex, I just want to ask you real quick, because since you're kind of changing your time, did you ever think about just going on at the same time and ending sooner and having Jack come on earlier?
No.
Just, to me, that's my big holdup, man. Like, I can't stay up late enough to go on Jack's show.
Well, he's trying
No
to
problem
punt.
for me here.
If Jack wants to go on earlier, he can go on before me. But I really don't want to. I just got through. Every time I change a time here, I have to change promos. And as Rob knows, I write him and I say, "Could you just say 2 words for me? Like, not 10:30 instead of 10." And then I have to go. I put out 2 whole new promos now that have my new time on it, and so and then I had to change all the artwork. To do it for 2 people. I'm sorry. I've just had an operation a couple of weeks ago. Okay,
My poor ass.
I can't take out the garbage. I've got cancer. Okay.
Alex?
Yes.
This is delaying the election and stuff. This is scary. Because how he said he's going to be president longer?
I cannot believe it. I have to take a picture of this.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
My neighbors continue to flout the law.
Wait a minute, Bree.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I hope that, how Trump predicted he's going to be president forever? Like maybe the delay in the election with all this. I mean, is it some weird conspiracy plot?
Somebody last night here said that's somebody last night on this show said that's impossible by law.
Ask Josh.
Josh, it's impossible, isn't it, Josh? He has to hold an election, right?
Yeah, I would say only Congress would have the power to change the date of the election.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't happening.
I mean, there's probably not going to be an election in November. He'll find some fucked up way to make it not happen, and they'll all just go along with it. I mean, I wouldn't plan on voting in November if I were anybody. I wouldn't get too excited about it. I mean, America got what they bought.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck with this fucking ass.
United States of Venezuela.
Dumb fucks. I mean, everyone tried to warn people if dipshits in there when something like this goes down, you're gonna have this problem, and you're getting exactly what you asked for. So.
Yeah, don't run up as a candidate, right?
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
He did this on purpose.
Yeah.
What a world we live in.
It's all him.
How is the the virus in Russia? Like, has it hit Russia?
Oh yeah, of course. It's hit everywhere. I was looking at the.
I don't hear anything about the news on Russia though.
Russia is very quiet about it. They say they've only had 253 confirmed cases, of which 12 have recovered and 1 is dead. I find that kind of hard to believe. Yes, Phil.
I'm just wondering if this was a bio attack by the Chinese that was meant for the United States, and because Trump cut travel, it ended up everywhere else. And soon we are going to be attacked in this same fashion by other countries, whether it be North Korea or Iran.
Phil, please don't start rumors like that. Not here. I won't allow that kind of speculation on this program.
All right, so it's not speculation,
I am a little upset that the president insists on calling this the Chinese flu.
You can call it Mexican food.
Or Wuhan flu, yeah, or Chinese flu.
So did Pompeo today too. He insisted on calling it that too.
Yeah, and I think that's their new tactic, is to blame the Chinese for it.
The Chinese were saying that there was American soldiers in Wuhan doing exercises, and maybe it's the American flu.
Look. This was as with all of these kinds of situations, something that was lingering somewhere. Who knows? And somebody somewhere let it out of the bottle.
Read the article on CNN.com about what we're doing to the environment and what we're doing in these woodlands and all of these places where there are viruses and species of life that we don't know about, and we're upsetting the apple cart. They say don't blame the bats, blame humans.
Well, it was kind of like with AIDS. AIDS existed in the jungles for centuries.
It's worse than AIDS.
And what happened was, when we finally built roads into those jungles, it had a way to get out.
Right.
Yes.
Damn moonshiners.
Jason has his hand up.
There was I think it was Outbreak or Contagion. I don't know. One of the movies came out in '91. I just made my kid watch the other day, and it was talking about how. The rumor was in Africa about how this is a curse from the gods because man wandered into trails that he wasn't ever meant to go down. And that's basically what it is. We keep on spreading into areas and there's stuff there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he can call it the Chinese flu just like we called it the Spanish flu when it really started in some army post here in the United States.
Well, I dive in caves. There's a thing called a halicline where you have salt water and fresh water mixing, and there are of animals or things that live in those very unusual spots, and they're using those. I think they call them exactophiles. They're using those to discover different treatments for cancer and other things because they live in these extreme environments.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that we have to find to combat.
Well, I don't know. We live in New York, and that's an extreme environment, and we're the #1 city in the United States now with the flu. With
it's noisy outside your window now that people are off the street.
Not like it used to be. That's the only good news. That and the fact that there was no St. Patrick's Day parade and people on the subways puking green. So, there are positives to this whole thing.
Hopefully there's a Cinco de Mayo parade.
Yeah, right.
We'll count on it.
Yes, and you know what we're all going to drink on Cinco de Mayo, don't you?
Corona.
Corona. Exactly.
And then take your shots of tequila.
Hey, listen, everybody. This has been a difficult thing to transverse, but all you people have been really good, and it's worked out perfectly. Todd, thank you. Thank you to Josh. Thank you to Charlie. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Scott Boddicker, thank you for being there. Charlene, thank you. Let me see here. Jason, thank you. Hold on. Keep holding up. That's Dude Wipes, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by Dude Wipes. Okay.
You feel rank?
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Phil. And thank you to Bree in Malaysia. What you should all do is give him all a big wave goodbye. Brought to you by Dude Wipes. Hold up Dude Wipes again. There we go. Dude wipes. There we go. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you. Anyway, that's it for tonight. That's our citizen panel. Man, oh man, has it been a good one. And a lot of people watching tonight. And what does it take a horrible tragedy like this to, get you to call? Anyway, I gotta go. Jack Bishop is next over most of the same GABNet. And I'll see you again on Tuesday at 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.